I the last straw of that for me was I had been going to the ER and I go in and they're like, you know, drug seeker. Like,
Yeah.
this is not okay, we're not going to take you seriously. Okay, go get your ultrasound. They take their time. But the last time I had went there, it was so bad. I was vomiting. I was absolutely miserable, and it was actually because I had an ovarian torsion from a massive cyst and internal bleeding. And so I had walked in and they're kind of dismissing me, and then all of a sudden it was
Welcome back to PCOS Unfiltered. I'm your host, Lindsie, nurse, health and nutrition coach, and body wisdom guide. Today's conversation is one I know so many women are going to relate to because it's about so much more than a diagnosis. If you've ever been told your symptoms were just PCOS, struggled with chronic pain, unexplained weight gain, infertility, or felt dismissed when you knew something wasn't right, this episode is for you. Today's guest, Jessa Miehle, courageously shares her journey through years of painful symptoms, surgeries, endometriosis, hidradenitis suppurativa, or HS, infertility, and ultimately discovering that healing wasn't just about treating one condition. It was about learning to understand her body as a whole. We also dive into topics that don't get enough attention, like medical gaslighting, nervous system regulation, chronic stress, trauma, inflammation, and the importance of becoming your own advocate when you're searching for answers. As always, this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not replace individualized medical advice. My hope is that today's conversation reminds you that your body isn't working against you, it's communicating with you. Sometimes it just takes the right support and the courage to keep asking questions to finally hear what it's trying to say. Now let's dive in. Here's my conversation with Jessa Miehle. So you lost your right ovary and
Mhm.
fallopian tube. And then, so after the torsion, so the torsion was on the left,
On the left. Yeah.
and they were able to save that ovary.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's something too that I feel like doesn't get talked about, too, because it
No.
can lead to like a torsion, like a twisting,
Yeah.
if for those that aren't familiar. And you
Yeah.
could lose the blood supply to your ovary. You could lose that. You could lose your fallopian tube there. It could cause a lot of things. I've seen those
Exactly.
patients in the ER as well. Um, I mean, how mentally, even just through that, like I love that you became your own advocate, which is another thing that I talk about
Yeah.
a lot of episodes. I think that's super important. And that's like
Yeah.
one thing that I really, really encourage people to
Yeah.
do is start doing the research, like you mentioned the depot that you just
Yeah.
you were just like, okay, like
It's
I'll
like,
just
okay,
take
I
it
trust
then.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But even
Yeah.
during that time, mentally, how are you processing things? How are you, were you dealing with things? Obviously, knowing what you know now is different,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there were some ups and downs throughout that journey
Definitely.
too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like during most of that time, I was so depressed. And I kind of felt like I was trapped in my own body. And I had never been taught how to process emotion. So instead of processing it and talking about it and trying to work through it, because chronic illness is extremely difficult on anyone. Um, I would just stuff it down. I was taught my whole life to just stuff it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And that turned into my body holding on to so much that I literally couldn't do anything without being reactive.
Mhm.
And that's where I take accountability in myself too. Um, Obviously my ex-husband was not great, but I also was not great a lot of the times too because I I felt like crap all the time. I felt miserable and I felt like no one understood me, no one could help me, and I'm like, why am I living this life? What is the point, you know? So, yeah, it was extremely difficult and I'm so grateful for this day and age because if I hadn't found what I have through even just social media, like honestly, I probably would not be here. And I'm just gonna be matter of fact about it because I didn't know how to handle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the weight gain, and that's again like another common, thing that I hear from a lot of ladies too. And
Yeah.
then especially when you're doing and Weight Watchers, oh my gosh, I swear probably 95% of women that I talk to, even if they don't have PCOS,
Yeah.
they've been on Weight Watchers at
We've
some
all been on
point.
Weight
Yeah.
Watchers. It was at one point, it was the only thing that it was either Weight Watchers or the Atkins diet, and that's all
Yeah.
you had. So
Yeah.
you gotta pick one. And
Yeah.
on Weight Watchers, you could eat bread. So, which is another thing I learned
Yeah.
gluten messes with me. So I had to
Yeah. Yeah.
stop doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the weight gain and then the rapid weight gain that you had,
Yes.
for like really no explained reason,
No.
but
Yep.
then like you said, trying everything to get it off and it wasn't
Yeah.
working. Like again, that's just another, I feel like one of those kind of telltale signs. It's all different for everybody, but it
Oh,
can be
yeah.
one of those, very prominent signs that something is going on for
Yeah. No,
sure,
100%.
and then being dismissed. Well, I don't want to say dismissed, but just not getting the answers, like
Results. Yeah.
yeah, what doctor tells you, oh, we'll just check it again in 3 months. Like
Right.
to me, you should be more concerned and trying to dig deeper. But unfortunately, I think our physicians aren't trained to do that.
Or-
They're trained to
Right.
just prescribe and cut
Yep.
and then we just go along with it. So,
I
you
agree.
mentioned social media too. I wanted to say how we met
Yes,
because,
exactly.
yeah, because I am part of some PCOS Facebook groups, as you are.
Yep. Yep.
And Jessa had posted her story on there, and I was like, I gotta meet this lady because, yeah, because this is the stuff that I want to share because
Yeah.
we do, and you probably see it in those groups too. There's so many women that just go down a
So
rabbit
many.
hole,
Yes.
and so they just have to know they can come out on the other side and take that
Yeah.
first step, for sure.
Absolutely. And I see
Um,
it and I'm just like, I'm you. Like, how can I help you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I want to talk a little bit more about HS
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
as I mentioned to you when we first talked, it's
Yep.
something that I've been trying to find some experts, and it's really difficult to actually
There,
find anybody that kind of specializes
yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
And it sticks out to me because, again, going back to my ER days, I would see it a lot in women with
Yeah.
PCOS. I feel like there
Yes.
was a big correlation there.
Yeah.
One of my first clients had both as well. So tell us about that if you want to,
Yeah.
describe, tell us more about what that is.
Absolutely.
And then just kind of your experience with that and what you found with that.
Yeah, definitely. So I also haven't found a specialist that works with HS. I did work with a dermatologist who was at least familiar with it.
Yeah.
That was probably about 8 years ago that I had worked with him. But HS, it's an autoinflammatory skin disorder where pretty much your hair follicle um acts or responds to certain inflammatory triggers and traps bacteria and then creates massive like boils,
Yeah.
and they are excruciating, and it mainly attacks just like your most sensitive parts, so like your inner thighs, your armpits, under your breasts. But I mean, it can even go into your face, your neck. I mean, it can really go anywhere, but for the and it's in men too. So it's not just something that is strictly with women, but predominantly with women. Um, but then what happens is, either you have to go and get it lanced in order to release the infection, and go on some sort of antibiotic, or it will tunnel, meaning it'll create other pockets in your skin and it will just continue to spread. So at my worst, and this was after I got off of the Depo shot, mine had tunneled and I would have sometimes like up to seven, a cluster of seven at one time. I couldn't
Mm.
even move my leg. It hurt so bad. Um, and for me, I had done my research on the HS forums because there is no information. At
No.
least when I was looking back then, there was no information regarding it. And I just kind of started looking through what people were saying was helping them. A big one, stress, reducing stress. But for me personally, I went on an elimination diet and eliminated trigger foods that people had been saying consistently. And one of those was peppers. So I was eating bell peppers every day because I was like, Mediterranean, this is healthy. Like, this is going to be good for me, you know? And I took peppers out of my diet completely. And within just a few weeks, my HS started to clear up. And I mean, peppers are in everything, spices, like everything pretty much. And so it was difficult to find foods that didn't have it in it. But once I did that, I I sent my HS into remission. I have an occasional flare, but they don't get to the size they used to. They don't tunnel like it. I'll get like a small, and then I know how to attack it. I slap a hydrocolloidal bandage on it. I double check like the food that I'm eating. I go like strictly anti-inflammatory, and then it goes away quickly. Um, so it's really it's really difficult because I can't say, hey, just stop eating peppers because peppers may not be your thing. But I think that diet and the connection with PCOS is since PCOS is a metabolic syndrome and it's your system is so out of whack. So, and your inflammation is so increased, like it's just triggering that with certain foods that are not reacting well with your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And for those who may not be as familiar, HS is hidradenitis suppurativa.
suppurativa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's like it's a
Yes.
mouthful.
I
So
know.
HS is better, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to make that clear in case
Right.
somebody is like heard either or.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and even if they like lance them,
Yep.
drain them or
It
whatever,
doesn't stop
it
it.
doesn't stop it, right? Yeah, they
No.
come right back, sometimes
Yep.
in the same place, sometimes worse. I know
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've had some clients I've talked to that they just get put on the antibiotics if they kind of catch it in time.
Yeah.
And then, because obviously if they've been dealing with it for a while, but then of course you're killing your gut, all the
Exactly. I
good
was
gut
going to say,
bacteria too.
yes,
Like you're just adding,
it's like a
oh,
double-edged sword because it's like,
yeah,
okay, the antibiotic is going to treat that infection, but it's actually making the underlying problem worse. Like
yeah,
you are completely destroying your gut biome
yeah,
and it's all connected.
yeah, yeah. There was a book, I think I told you now, I can't
Yeah.
remember the
Yep.
name of it.
The
But
I have it. Hold on.
yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up.
But yeah, for anybody listening, there was a book that I was recommended as I was like helping my first client that had it, and I was like reaching out and trying to figure out some other things. But she talked a lot in the book. Do you have it?
Yeah, the hidden plague.
Hidden Plague. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep wanting to say the silent.
Yeah. I
Yes.
mean both, right?
Yeah. So the
Exactly.
Hidden Plague is
Yeah.
I would recommend. And very similarly, it's somebody that has HS. I think hers is basically in remission too, but she went through the whole elimination diet thing, and I think nightshades were a big one, if I remember
Yeah.
from
Yep.
her, yeah, from her book. So nightshades are tomatoes, the peppers,
Yep.
potatoes. I think eggplants even in there.
Yep.
And like you said, especially with the peppers, like I love paprika on a lot
Paprika.
of
I
stuff.
know. It's
Like
horrible.
that would be difficult for me.
Yep.
Um, but everybody's so,
Yeah.
so different. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it might be might be difficult, it might be painful in a way to try to
Sure.
eliminate everything, but like if you think about how you're going to feel in the end,
Yeah.
I would highly recommend, somebody checking out the book and looking
Yeah.
into that because I think we all have our different triggers. For me, gluten, gluten is
Yeah.
my thing. Rice even, I have an issue with rice, so
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I mean, and the other thing along with that too, that can kind of amplify things like that. Like I've had reactions even if I didn't have gluten, but I think when your nervous system, going back to that theme, when
Yeah.
your nervous system is in that fight or flight
Yeah.
response and you're not feeling safe and you're not feeling calm, and
Yeah.
it can sometimes, whether you have the food or
Retrigger.
not, yeah, it can be a
Yeah.
trigger. If you're already sensitive and then you have some type of big stressor, that can just
Yeah.
make it 10 times worse.
100%.
So, yeah.
I mean, right
Yeah.
now, honestly, like for full transparency, like I'm going through another very stressful pocket of my life, and it is manifesting in my cystic acne all on my chin, which was very prevalent when I was having HS flares. So I'm being like extra diligent because I know my stress is so high right now to do other things in my life, make sure my food is good, and but also like reducing stress in whatever aspect that I can, um to make sure that I'm not allowing this to get out of control. And like something I just want to like touch base on too is like cycle syncing my workouts. Like
Mhm.
I was draining myself because I was like, all of the toxic gym culture sayings like, it's not about motivation, it's only about discipline, just push through it, no days off, like all of that stuff. And I was like, yeah, like yes, I'm going to get so strong, I'm going to do this, but it was completely depleting me, and it was raising my cortisol, and it was making me go back into fight or flight. And so I started doing cycle syncing last year because had I was just at my breaking point with everything, and it helps me. And so then also when I'm going through really stressful periods of my life, I'm like, okay, well, I'm also going to reel back at the gym right now. Like, I am not going to push as hard. I'm only going to maybe go 3 to 4 days a week instead of the like 5 days a week I usually go. I need to prioritize rest because my nervous system is really frustrated right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to like find that balance, and things like your nervous system is going to tell your body everything that it needs to do.
Hmm.
So, and if we're not providing it the right support, like it's not going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's what makes it so difficult with all this the stuff that's out there because,
Yeah,
it's more do this, do that, don't do this, don't
that
do that.
too.
But like you
Yes.
really just have to learn, and start
Absolutely.
listening to what your
Yes.
body, what your
Yep.
body needs and know that it's okay that yes, rest is completely fine if you're in that gym
Yeah.
because I get there too. I'm guilty of that sometimes too. And I'm like,
Yeah. Of
I
course.
think I just need a rest day.
I need a rest. I need to pull it
Yeah.
back today. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. But I love that you bring that up because I don't think that gets talked about enough
No,
as well. And even like trainers and stuff, if somebody's working with like a personal trainer or,
yep.
or something, and I don't think they're as aware as to how
No.
important that is,
Yeah.
as to how to push somebody during certain times of their cycle. So,
Yeah. And I got really lucky too. I had met a coach through TikTok, and he I wanted to train with him, but I couldn't afford it. So he said, "You know what? I actually believe that you're going to do this, so I'm going to do this with you and just for free." And I was like, "Okay, that's amazing."
mhm.
And so we start working together, and through the whole process he's like, "Okay, where are you at in your cycle? Do you have any disorders that I need to know about?" I swear to God, I turned this. I have no idea. I'm just turning my phone off. Um, this is the ADHD. So you're welcome to see it in real time. Um, so, and he was constantly asking me every week, okay, but how's your energy level? Like, how are the workouts feeling? Are you super sore? Like, and he dove into all of those aspects. And I was like, well, Robert, okay, like you're opening up a whole new window for me to look into because like, yeah, I feel like crap this week. He's like, okay, well, we're gonna up your vitamin C and we're gonna do this and but don't do this. And it was just really amazing. And I think that more trainers like could benefit their clients by looking into that stuff more as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. I would agree. So, how are things now? So it sounds like you kind of, you still have some flare-ups
Oh,
and
for
you
sure.
kind of get, you
Yeah.
know how to respond, but in general, like I mean, PCOS
Over.
wise and
Yeah.
endometriosis wise, like everything just basically is in remission then.
Yeah. So, I mean, the endometriosis, my excision surgeon, where I was back then, said, this is not a forever fix. You can expect to probably have to do this again within 3 to 4 years, possibly five. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm at almost 7 years now. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, okay, so like I'm doing something right? And then for the PCOS, yeah, I've had regular periods. And sometimes when my stress is higher, like I do have more pain. I get period flu. The PMDD is rough, but I don't think that any of this is ever going to just be a set or quick fix. Like I still have a lot of work that I need to keep doing in order for this to be completely like sustainable. But overall, I am literally a completely different person than I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, no matter what, whether it's somebody dealing with PCOS, like I said, I've been there, I still have my ups and downs sometimes with my health and I'm like, okay, what's
Yeah.
going on? And so I think
Of
that's super
course.
important that you have to start listening. That's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you have to start listening to what your body needs instead of just listening to everybody else telling
Everybody
you
else.
what to do or not
Exactly.
to do. So,
Right.
um, as we wrap up, what's one piece of advice that you would give to somebody that might be starting out on this journey and might be confused where to start?
Sure. So listen. Okay. So listen to your body. Obviously, that's kind of been the theme, but also like don't be too hard on yourself.
Mm.
And this is not something that is going to change in an instant, but your main motivator needs to be that you are your own advocate. You need to fight for yourself and you're going to find the answers, but you have to make yourself the priority.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
super important. You have to do that before you can do anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
love it.
And it's all trial and error, man.
Yeah.
It is all trial and error.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
For sure. Well, thank you so, so
Oh,
much. Oh my
thank
gosh.
you.
Thank you for sharing your story, for just being vulnerable with us.
Absolutely.
I think so, so many women need to hear,
Yeah,
everything. So,
I
I
agree.
really, really, really appreciate you taking the time to be here today.
Well, I thank you so much for having me.
What I love most about Jessa's story is that it reminds us healing rarely happens because of one medication, one surgery, one diet, or one perfect solution. Healing often comes from putting the pieces together, advocating for yourself, finding the right healthcare team, supporting your nervous system, reducing inflammation, honoring your body's signals, and giving yourself grace throughout the whole process. If today's conversation resonated with you, I hope it encourages you to keep asking questions, keep listening to your body, and remember that you deserve to feel well. You are not too complicated, and you are never alone in this journey. A huge thank you to Jessa for sharing her story so openly and so vulnerably. And I know her experience is going to help so many women feel seen, validated, and hopeful. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you'd share it with a friend or leave a rating and review. Every share helps us reach another woman who's looking for answers and reminds her that healing is possible. And if you're looking for even more education, encouragement, and practical tools to support your journey, be sure to join my Healthy Ever After community, where you'll find women walking this journey together, resources, recipes, and more podcast episodes just like this. The link is in the show notes for you. Until next time, remember, your body isn't broken, it's communicating. Nourish it, listen to it, trust it, and know that healing doesn't happen overnight, but every small step matters. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next episode of PCOS Unfiltered. Nourish, heal, thrive.